For more on this, with me today is South Carolina Republican Congresswoman and member of the House Armed Services Committee, Nancy Mace. Congresswoman, welcome.
Thank you for having me today.
Let's start with some sound from Secretary of State Tony Blinken, and I'll get you to react to it.
When it comes to humanitarian assistance, particularly the early months after October 7th, and when it comes to the use of weapons, concerns about incidents where, given the totality of the damage that's been done to children, women, men, it was reasonable to assess that in certain instances, Israel acted in ways that are not consistent with international humanitarian law.
You're on the Armed Services Committee. Is it appropriate for President Biden to be withholding weapons from our allies, Israel?
Well, look, this fight in the Middle East, this is about good versus evil. And Joe Biden needs to pick a side. And I hope like heck that he chooses the side of good here, because this is about jihad, about jihadism. And we should not be holding up weapons, arms, or aid to Israel, who is fighting this front, fighting this war against this evil across the Middle East. And we should be supporting our ally who has supported us for years now. We should be supporting Israel in every way, shape, or form that we humanly possibly can.
I want to play some sound from House Foreign Affairs Chairman Michael McCall.
And for us to step in and say, no, you can't go into Rafah and finish the job, I think it's tantamount to an arms embargo. It's also very similar for us to say in World War II, you can invade all the way up to Berlin, but you can't go into Berlin to finish the job.
Your colleague Corey Mills from Florida is preparing articles of impeachment against the president on this issue. Where are you on possible impeachment over withholding those weapons from Israel?
Well, I'm going to have to read the articles of impeachment first before I make a decision on that and whether or not we're even going to vote on it. I don't know enough information at this time. But what I can tell you is that there is not going to be peace in the Middle East when we have a president who's trying to be the first male member of AOC's The Squad, who pays lip service to both Israel and terrorists abroad, who can't even condemn anti-Semitism on college campuses, who can't condemn violence on our own campuses here in the United States. There's not going to be peace when there is such weakness in the White House, which is why I believe strongly that we all need to be working together to get Donald Trump reelected so he can bring peace back to the world, end these wars that are happening overseas in the Middle East, and keep America safe and her allies safe.
Let's talk about the House Republican Conference, the House of Representatives. You were one of the Republicans who took action to help remove Kevin McCarthy as Speaker. We saw your colleague Marjorie Taylor Greene take similar action this week. It seemed to blow up in her face. What do you make of that?
Well, certainly it did, because the votes were not there. And look, I listened to people back home in South Carolina. They want us to unite and come together because they see what is happening around the country, whether we're talking about men and women's locker rooms, whether we're talking about endless wars, high inflation, over 9 million people coming across the border. They want to make sure we're doing everything we can to win the White House, to keep the majority in the U.S. House, and flip the Senate. And dividing our party right now at this time doesn't get us there. All of our efforts should be to unite together and make sure that Donald Trump wins, because when he wins big, the rest of us can win. We can flip the Senate, we can keep the majority in the House, and do what's right by the American people, keep our promises. And I believe Mike Johnson is keeping his promises, and he's going to work toward that end. But we've got to unite. We have to come together. And that's what I'm hearing from South Carolinians back home.
The vote was 359 to 43, which is pretty staggering considering how polarized things are right now. Is it over? And should Marjorie Taylor Greene potentially be punished for her defiance?
Well, I believe that everyone has the right to their own opinion, the right to the First Amendment. I disagreed with her, but I don't believe that she should be punished because we disagree with her. I have been vehement in the past, whether you're a Democrat or Republican, that we all have the right to our own speech and our right to our own opinions, even though we might vehemently disagree. What I am encouraging, because I'm listening to the American people, I'm listening to South Carolinians back home, is to stop the infighting. It's time to come together now and unite as a party and show leadership. But we can only do that when we're working together to ensure we stem the tide of illegal immigration at the border, to ensure we don't continue massive amounts of spending as we have in years past, that we listen to women and we show women that we care, because there's a lot at stake in November, and it's our country that's at stake. And I want to see us come together and show the world and our nation that we have the leaders that can win and leaders that can guide us out of the mess that Joe Biden created.
Congresswoman Nancy Mace of the great state of South Carolina, happy Mother's Day. Thank you for taking time out of your special day to be with us.
Likewise, happy Mother's Day to all the moms out there.
Amen.
Hey, Sean Hannity here. Hey, click here to subscribe to Fox News YouTube page and catch our hottest interviews and most compelling analysis. You will not get it anywhere else.